I guess we can jump into
Ba, ba, ba,
let's
ba,
jump
ba.
into How I Met Your Father. Um,
Ooh.
it's funny. I was talking
Ooh.
to my friend about How I Met Your Mother yesterday actually. And I was telling her like I didn't get into How I Met Your Mother until like college because I started watching it like on
Mhm.
Netflix to binge it while I was doing like drawings or making
Yeah.
models. But I had like heard of the show like in passing, and I thought it was like a reality show of like I was
Really?
just like, why are we doing a reality show about how people met their mothers? Like this sounds
Why?
stupid.
What made you think it was a reality
Um,
show?
I have no idea. My brain just back then was like extra stupid for
God,
some reason.
I hope you think about
Um,
that about everything. Like, whoa, that's a crazy reality show. How are they getting away with
He
this?
he thought it.
no, I had never actually seen the show. Only heard of the
No,
title.
I know, but
I
I
thought it
was
was like a
hoping that you
90
thought
day
that way about
wedding
all
type
shows.
thing.
Yeah,
He thought it was like a 90-day wedding type show.
yeah, maybe.
Like,
And I'm just like,
some
oh, Lord.
romantic thing.
Like I don't want to watch this shit. Why is everybody loving this shit? And I was just like, yeah. And then I started watching. And I was like hooked. But yes, How I Met Your Father came out January 18th. 2 episodes on Hulu. Watched them both.
Dude, at once it hit
And,
midnight, I was on Hulu right there. I was like, I'm watching. I saw both episodes twice.
Damn.
So what are your initial like reactions to the show?
I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time.
Disco?
I'm liking it. There's some characters I'm like meh, and there's some characters I'm like kind of. I feel like are trying to imitate the original cast in certain ways. But overall, I'm liking the vibes that they're giving. You know, I don't know if it's gonna be able to top like the original, but it's not a bad watch. You know, I definitely enjoyed those 2 episodes.
For me, it's like the show started, and it's just like it's like 2022, like we're dating Tinder, and I'm like, okay, so I see like they're definitely trying to relate to what is happening
Yeah.
now, right? Character wise, I just think it's gonna take me the whole season to fall in love with these characters, to truly understand them, because like the other show, it took me like a while to like not a while, but I think it took me like the first season to like understand the characters. But I think also like the How I Met Your Mother, like at the beginning, like you felt like these characters had relationships that were built in that I felt came out in their conversations. Like, you had Marshall and Lily. You had Ted with Marshall and Lily, Barney, and then they met.
Robin.
Like, so
Yeah.
all four of them were friends, and then they got Robin, right? Where this one, it's like you have the two friends of I really don't know their names, but
Jesse.
the two
Oh,
girls.
the
Like,
girls. Oof.
yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna take. Honestly, it took me for How I Met Your Mother. I couldn't
yeah,
get the names either.
So
It took me a minute.
yeah, so you had you have like Hilary Duff and like the Latina chick who were like friends, right? And then they met like the other people on an Uber ride, and
On
then
that
they
Uber
became
ride.
friends. And I was just like, I'm like, not gonna happen. But okay, it is
I
what
like
it
that.
is.
Me being the type of person who I go out of my way to not make any more friends. I don't know how you make friends
Yeah.
anymore. That seems perfectly reasonable to me.
You don't make them in an Uber.
I've been in an Uber once with you, and I was already friends with you.
Yeah,
And then that's when you
with
yeah,
me, we've been in an Uber
in
together.
Chicago. And
Oh,
that's when
that's
you got
right,
really
that's
cold
right,
and you're
that's right.
shaking your ass out on the street corner.
Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to get
then
you
you
to keep
hugged
me
to keep
warm,
warm?
like hug me and shit, but
I
you
just
wouldn't.
made fun of you.
Yeah, I wanted to be in your warm embrace, but
Oh gosh, that's so romantic.
but yeah, so it's just that was a little weird to me, but it's okay, it works. Like she has her boyfriend who moved from England, who's like super rich, so he's kind of like he's like Barney plus Marshall combined, where he's like the rich, handsome, but he's like into a relationship. He's not like a playboy, right? And the playboy is her friend who got the guy, right? Like she's supposed to. I think she's like the Playboy character, even though she's just got an
See, I
original.
don't
And then you
see
have like
that.
the Indians who are like kind of Marshall and Lily.
See, that's right there. That's your issue, guys. Stop
and I know-
comparing. Stop.
Yes,
I
it is-
did not
it is
at
my
any
issue.
point compare.
And I was and I was telling my friend yesterday, because we talked about How I Met Your Father as well. I was like, this is my issue, and it's going to take me a while to get out of this. I'm looking for the similarities from How I Met Your Mother characters into these characters, and it's going to disappoint me in the beginning until these characters build themselves, where I like them for their characters, and I'm not trying to find the How I Met Your Mother characters in them. So I think that's just going to take me a couple episodes.
It's human nature to
Yeah,
look
and
that's
for
the thing.
patterns.
Me not
and
being
it's going
me
to take
not
a
being
while
human,
for them.
I never thought that. I instinctively was just like, it's because I granted this doesn't really apply, but they straight up said it's like these characters are not related to the others. There are going to be connections, and they do establish one connection, which I'm glad
Yes,
they did
yes.
one, and I'm glad it was quote unquote subtle. But
Yes.
it's a different age. These people are much younger than the old crew. That's going to be a whole different thing. I very, very much like the idea of different friend groups becoming one group because you're learning about each other while watching the show. You're
Yeah.
learning as they're learning. So I like that very, very much.
No, yeah, it's I like I said, I think it's fine. It's not realistic, but it's fine. It's a show.
Oh, how realistic is How I Met Your Mother?
Those four friends finding the fifth, and then like those like the sexual.
That yeah, but
that's
okay,
real,
but
that's more
the
realistic.
show,
That's more
the show is
believable.
realistic.
No, but like the connections between the people, right? It's just like it wasn't like random people all like
The original
meeting.
felt more natural. This one feels very like, oh, they're just boom, they're friends now. They're
Ex-
best friends.
yeah,
actually.
exactly.
But they're not.
Now they're
They're
going
still
out and
not
shit,
best
and-
friends. Like in the second episode, they're like, "Hey, we need to
Dude.
find friends for this guy. Who do we know? I don't know. Maybe those guys from the other night. They seemed okay. Let's try them." Like they're still not friends. They're getting there, but they're not friends
Yeah,
yet.
but then they like walk.
But I feel like the way they interact is
Yeah.
like so the way like a best friend would interact. Like, you know, they're just super open and very like I don't know.
That
But
could
I feel
be-
like I'm a little more reserved.
that could be
especially with strangers.
that could be the way New Yorkers are. I don't like. I've met New Yorkers. They're not
You're the
like.
closest thing to a New Yorker
you
between
know.
all three of us, sir. If anyone here knows,
So,
it's you.
but yeah, so like it's just I feel like it like the way they met wasn't organic, which is fine. I will get over this. It is what it is. You have like the one group of friends, which is like the two guy friends, the fiance and the sister, and then they met like the two girls and the one boyfriend, and then you have your group right there, right? So
I feel like just staying on what Eslam said. I feel like the Uber driver like gives me Ted vibes. Like I don't know if that was just me.
Ted Mosby,
Not at
no,
all.
No?
because Ted Mosby was like a geek. He was like super.
He
like,
believes
smart
in love, and
whatever.
this guy's the complete anti-love guy.
No, the Ted Mosby character is the girl.
But he's definitely gonna flip. You
They're
know
all
he's not
going to flip
stay,
back and
like,
forth. They're all going to have
anti-love.
sex with each other.
Yeah. And they already said like she already said like in the first episode she's like, and that's the night I met
And I
your
fucking
father.
knew
So
they
we
were
have,
going to
like-
do it. I was going to call it. I was going to bet Danny
Yeah.
again. I was going to double down on him and his children, and I missed out. The chance.
So now the father opportunities are the English guy, the Uber driver, the Ian, which was the black guy, or I don't think it could be the Indian guy since he just got married, but who the fuck knows? But
It could
hey,
be anyone.
It
could be anyone.
Those are the four guys that they kind of showed, or five guys or whatever. But it could have been someone like in the background, but they're throwing you off with these.
Remember,
people.
now How I Met Your
You know
Mother
what I mean?
is big on trying to throw a twist. The famous Robin scenario where I won Danny comes to mind. So that's one of the things. As soon as they said
And
it, I was just like, "This is it. This is the whole like from now to the end of the fucking show. I'm trying to figure out who it is."
So here's the thing, right? They could be doing two things, right? They could be like, okay, so one, we can pull off the same twist as How I Met Your Mother, but in a different scenario where it's like, hey, one of these people is going to be your father, but we're not going to end up together, and I'm going to be fucking someone else. The other one is that, hey, people are gonna expect this twist, so we're gonna just do it the normal way, where it's like they actually stay with
Yeah.
the father, and they don't die of cancer.
Yeah,
or
but it's
whatever.
funny too because like the fact that even in the trailers where they kept on showing her telling the story and they never showed her kids, that's what made me think it. I was just like, they're
Yes.
purposely not showing what the kid looks like so we can't guess.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Which
So I
is
was
great.
like, that's great. And now the whole thing is one thing that they could put a twist on it or not, whatever. But when it came down to it, why did Ted tell his kids the story? Because he wanted to get
Yes.
the okay to go get together with Robin. So why is she
Yes.
telling her son the story? That's going to be the key to try to
That's the
figure out
question, yeah.
okay, who the father is. Once we figure out why she's telling the son the story, there you go. Because like there were hints towards the end of How I Met Your Mother that the mother's gonna die. Like there were a couple episodes
Yeah.
that like teased it. It was like if you paid attention, you could see she was gonna die. And I was like, okay, the mother ain't around, so what's going on? And then Robin. But I don't know, man. I don't know who it is right now. It could be anyone. Like you said, it could be a background character. I don't know. It could be a number of things.
Wasn't the Uber driver like starting to like the Hilary Duff character?
That's what they're showing.
I feel
It looks like
it's
they're
too
gonna get
simple,
together.
Yeah.
but I feel like it's way too simple to
Yeah, it's
end
too
there.
soon.
But like,
Or it could
It's,
could be the twist, right? It's like it's the super obvious thing, but it's gonna take a shit ton
to
of
get
time
there.
for them to get together.
maybe
Yeah.
it takes time for him to win her over. Like I
Yeah.
feel like Ted's always trying to prove himself and win that love. I feel that's why he gives me Ted vibes. But he is a new character. I
Yeah.
teach their own.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
I like the actor
Um,
too. He was from another show I used to watch on Netflix, Glow. He was
Yeah.
the guy who like owned
Yeah.
the company. I was just like, once I saw he was in the show, I was like, oh, he was great in Glow. So seeing him here and just
No, yeah, he's a good actor. I didn't see him in Glow, but I've seen him in other stuff.
and me
Yeah.
being antisocial, negative, pessimistic person, seeing him act the way he is, I was like, man, I like this guy. He he's just
yeah.
really depressed. I get behind him.
Yeah, that shit was funny.
I like all the characters so far. The only one I don't like is that English one. I don't know. He just pisses me off.
Oh,
Like, I
he's-
don't like
he's
it.
pretty funny.
Anytime he talks, I'm just like, shut up. I hate you.
I can't wait for them.
He's pretty much the male Meghan Markle, because he married or he got with like a person of color, so his parents like cut him off, just like Prince Harry.
Yeah.
What's it called? I already know there has to be some type of episode where he's gonna do something where he's gonna become like extremely successful because everybody thinks he's smart because of his accent. Like I know that's gonna happen, and he seems like an idiot so far because he's never lived like an unsheltered life. So but I don't know. It's just I can't wait. With this being a sitcom, of course, I'm not thinking into it that much. With the sitcom, for the most part, you're meant to just go out there and have fun. So I'm not trying to really
Yes.
think about it.
What? To compare it back to like the original one, but like not in the same way. Like if you really think about the original one, like their characters grew and evolved so much between the relationships, and by the end they're all like whole nother people. So that's one thing that I'm very curious. Like I feel like, although I say I hate the British guy, I have my judgments already of like who I like and I don't. I'm very curious to see by like maybe like
The
a
end of
couple
this
seasons,
season.
at the end of this season, or
is
even
gonna be
a couple
different.
seasons in, just to see like if I still think the same thing, or just like, oh, I hate him even more, or like or like. I'm just very curious to see where they go and how they grow, because that's just kind of something I'm expecting based off the first one.
Yeah.
A lot of growth and just fun.
That's what
Well,
How
yeah,
I Met Your
so
Mother's all
the-
about. It's all about the fun.
yeah.
The one guy owns the bar, which is interesting, and then
Oh, dude, the bartender
have-
kid, I love that.
yeah,
I love that. Where they're just like, "Hey, this is cool, right? Yeah, yeah, bet,
yeah.
yeah."
What was the
Dude,
bar called again?
I remember.
Oh,
I remember
man.
when
It's
Jonathan
something with a
said
P,
that
I
to me
think.
for the first time.
No,
I remember when Jonathan said "bet" to me for the
Yeah.
first time in a text message,
you didn't know what about.
and I was just like, "Bet
Yeah.
what?" Like, this was a couple years ago too, so this is like before the word "bet" became like more
Yeah,
mainstream.
that's been around for a minute.
Yeah, so this was
That
like
sounds like
not- not for
$50 shake
nothing.
on it.
Me being a freaking nerd, I knew about bet for a minute.
Dude, I Jonathan introduced me
Okay.
to bet because I was just like, in a text message, I was like, "What's bet? But what are we betting on?" It's just like, he was like, "Nah, we're not bet. Like, bet." I'm just like, bro,
That's how he explains it.
like, what the fuck? I was like, I'm like, what the fuck are you saying to me? And he was like, bet means like, I
Like,
got you,
okay,
like,
yeah.
yes, or like
That
confirmation.
sounds like, oh no, I don't gamble.
Yeah, I'm like, sorry, gambling is against my religion, bro. I don't do that.
You know what that reminds me of? Esla, when we would send text messages, and you would always end it with
LOL?
no, it was
Oh, okay.
it wasn't English. It was some phrase. I don't know if it was Arabic or whatever, but you put a phrase at the end. Yeah,
With you
Yeah,
guys?
you
No,
did.
I've never...
Tina, you remember this? I'm not making this shit up.
It sounds
like-
it.
It was like
I don't really
I'm a
remember it, but
nay
it
or
sounds
something
very
like that.
possible.
Comment.
Oh,
Manatane,
matane.
yeah.
He probably had.
Yeah, that's Japanese
that-
for
Oh,
see you
That's
later.
Japanese. Okay, see, at the time,
Yeah, yeah.
it's just like I remember I would text you, and I remember this was around the time towards the end of freshman year where I was starting to become more friends with you guys.
Yeah.
And then I was texting you something, you're like matane, and I remember looking at that shit. I was like, I'm gonna act like I didn't see it. I don't know what the fuck's happening. I was like, I think I don't
No,
know if
I
he
would-
insulted me. I don't know if we're still friends.
Nah.
He's still been
he said-
ignoring it for 20 years.
he
He's just
said
like, oh, I
Arabic.
didn't see that.
I was like, I never
I never knew what it
like when I
was.
text with Nadia, like I'll say some Arabic
Yeah.
words, like, but like, cause she knows them, but I would never like I would say matane for you guys, cause like you guys watch anime
Yeah,
like
and
me.
that's
So.
I never knew what it was, and I could have sworn to God there was one time where we're at Danny's house, and I think you like walked out the room, so I'm like, Danny, what the fuck is this?
That's
But
funny.
yeah, I was always just like, no. And I brought this up. We talked about this years ago. At one point, I was like, what the fuck is this? And you told
God.
me.
If you did,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know
of
me.
course.
I don't know. Remember.
But that's how I felt with the like compared to your bet thing. But that's the thing. With this show, I'm looking forward to the inside jokes, like How I Met Your Mother had. The beauty of How I Met
I'm
Your
looking
Mother.
forward. Sorry, no, go finish your sentence.
I was just say
I'm
the
sorry.
beauty
Go
of
ahead.
How I Met Your Mother was it's a bunch of friends with inside jokes, and the watcher is in on these jokes with them. That's why I love it. You have the
Yes.
ducky
Yes,
tie,
yes.
you have all the different doppelgangers. Like you have all these cool things. It was just like, oh man, you get it. And then if somebody
Yeah.
else out there in the world gets it, like I remember once I was working at the arena, and some guy came to see a hockey game, and he was wearing a ducky tie. I'm like, "Are you a fan of How I Met Your Mother?" And he freaked the fuck out because like I knew what it was,
Yeah.
and I was like, it's cool to see stuff like that. So like I can't
Yeah,
wait to
yeah.
see that, especially once they started off with the Jason Momoas. I was like, oh, I'm loving this already.
Yes, yes.
I'm loving this.
Yeah, that was funny. What was I
I don't
gonna
know.
say?
You
Do you remember how I started off?
I
the
was
sentence?
saying I was talking while you're talking, so I stopped, and you're like, "No, continue." So I didn't catch it.
Fuck.
Yeah. I had said the
Completely
inside
forgot.
jokes. I really like the inside jokes, like the ducky tie, like the
Yeah. No, I completely forgot what I was gonna say.
I like the slap,
Slap
bet
bet.
from the original
Yeah,
one.
that- oh my God.
That
Slaps
that
given.
was timeless.
Dude, I was
man.
gonna send you guys something on Instagram, but I didn't know how to do it because I don't understand Instagram because I'm an old person. But there was some
God
video
damn
you
it.
guys might have seen already, where it was these guys in some country where they were just hitting the shit out of each other in the leg with some sticks. It was just two guys standing there, just some sticks, just going, and there was a crowd watching them, and they were just beating the shit out of each other's legs, going back and forth, and then they looked like kids, and I think it was a teacher that stopped them, and I didn't know what it was, but I was like, bro, this is calf slaps to the next level, like. They just had sticks, and they both had like one pant leg
Goddamn.
rolled up, and they had like 1 foot in each, and they were just beating the shit out of each other's sticks. It was wild.
some heated competition.
It
Wow.
was wild.
But yeah, so far I'm enjoying How I Met Your Father. I can't wait to see the rest. It's gonna take me a little bit to get used to the new characters, get invested into these characters like I got invested with How I Met Your Mother. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the journey. So
I feel like with more time, they're gonna become their own characters. I think because it's only like 1 or 2 episodes. We're
Yeah.
still trying to compare, like you said before. We're still trying to make those patterns,
Yep.
and with more time, they're gonna establish themselves as like, oh, I'm this person, and I'm the ditzy character, or we're the perfect couple, or the
so
ideal
far,
couple.
I'm really loving the adopted sister.
Yeah.
She's hilarious to me. I'm just like, she's so quiet and like she was scaring everybody.
Oh,
Like it's just like she was so awkward. I was like, she's hilarious. I'm loving her character.
What
so
got me
far.
was when she was in the club and they're like, "Hey, how are you doing talking to that girl?" She's like, "No, I'm talking to braless girl now." And she walks away. She's nice. Like, and they already got me. I already like these characters. I do see them differently. There might be some similarities to some of the previous ones, but I'm liking it.
I feel like they just kind of like, maybe even if it's just visually, like they'll have like similar cues to an homage to the old characters. Like I feel like the British guy with his like fancy dressing is Barney, right? Just because Barney always wore suits, like this guy dresses fancy. So that's just
Maybe
like
that's why you're connecting.
That's just a little, So there's just like those little things that they have, like the two couple, like the couple that got engaged in the first episode, Marshall and Lily, right? It's just those little things. I feel like they do that to hook you in, to be like, and then those characters are gonna change, and then
I didn't get
they're
those
gonna evolve
connections
into
at all.
their own.
they felt like that picture perfect couple. Like,
Yeah.
I definitely got that Marshall.
I did
Lily
not.
vibes,
Yeah,
too.
so it's
and,
just
and
like-
then you see the other two, and they're like, I don't know. I felt like, I don't know. I want to say Barney and Robin, but I feel like that's way stretching way too much.
But no, I feel like there's just like these little characteristics to remind you of what you loved about the old shows, to hook you into this new show, and then you'll just understand the new characters and make those same connections with these new characters that you did with the old ones. So
How do you feel about Hilary Duff, like as the main character? As
I
like,
like
she's the
Hilary
mom.
Duff.
She's the mom, in the old one, and Hilary Duff in the young,
I'm
old
liking
time.
it.
yeah, I like Hilary Duff.
She's working.
No, yeah, I really, I think she's killing that role too. I think I mean, I've never really been a big fan of Hilary Duff or like
I watched her on Disney Channel
anything
back in the day.
But I feel like out of all the the child stars back in that age, like she's probably doing the best for herself.
Out of like Disney Channel, because a lot of Disney Channel stars like went hard the other way when they left Disney Channel, in the sense of just like drugs.
Shia LaBeouf is perfectly normal.
like-
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like there's a lot of like drugs, or like you hear them a lot about them in the news. But I feel like Hilary Duff has just been low key the whole time.
Yeah, so
just
like
doing her,
Hilary Duff has become like, so she kind of like got out of acting for a while. I think she started a family and now she's back into acting. Other like success stories are like Zendaya.
Well, she came way after,
was on
didn't she?
Disney Channel.
Isn't she
Huh?
like way after? Yeah.
Yeah, she is way after. I'm just saying like the most successful
Okay.
ones that I could think of from like Disney Channel. That
Yeah.
I would say, I don't know what the stars on Disney Channel.
Well,
are
I never
now.
really knew Disney Channel people. I knew Hilary Duff and like Shia LaBeouf. That's really it.
Yeah.
Is Zac Efron from Disney?
I
I
don't
don't even know.
He was from the movie, but yeah, he wasn't a show. He was just like those musical movies. High School
yeah.
Musical.
Yeah. But if there is a comparison, it's her to Ted.
Yeah,
That's
no,
really,
it is.
That's really it.
Because it's
it's just,
that's the only one.
That's
yeah,
the
yeah.
only one I'm seeing, if anything. But no, I don't
Yeah.
really see any other ones.
Why do you say Ted? Just out of
They're both
curiosity.
hopeful,
'Cause
love-struck people. Like they're that's the whole. The show's anchored
They're
on the main person who's looking for love.
their partner. Yeah,
Like they're both the same exact person.
that's the only comparison.
I could see that. I could
Personality
see
wise,
that.
Well,
they're
they both
different,
seem
but,
lame.
you know.
They both seem very lame and doofy.
She's willing to do like hopeless romantic shit, like
Exactly.
chase a random guy that to an airport when he's leaving for an Australia.
Yeah,
job,
they're the hopeful.
I feel like that's very movie.
That might be the one character they kept very
Yeah,
similar.
that's
but
pretty
yeah,
much it.
the
Everybody
other
else is
yeah.
fairly different. If anything, the British guy's more like Marshall than anyone.
No, yes,
But
I think
even
so.
then,
but
it's
I'm
not,
just saying
yeah.
the clothing wise is just
Yeah.
like visually, he's just like looks like
I
Barney.
guess.
No,
It's like a combination
Yeah.
of the like just different fusion.
yeah. All right, but yeah. So How I Met Your Father is doing.